So I recently picked up Necromancer on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. Now this movie was actually written by Bill Nod, who was also the writer and director of Whodunit, my previous Blu-ray review from Vinegar Syndrome. This was my first viewing of Necromancer. So, how does it hold up? Released in 1988, Necromancer stars Elizabeth Caton from Friday the 13th Part 7 and Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2. So after staying late at night in one of the university buildings, she's violently attacked and raped by a deranged classmate. He and his follower friends were apparently there to steal a test. The rape scene is thankfully quick and not too graphic, but it's still pretty unpleasant to watch. So she doesn't go to the police because she figures her boyfriend won't understand, but she does conveniently come across an ad in the paper aimed at those seeking revenge. So the newspaper ad brings her and her friend to the evil necromancer mentioned in the title. We actually met her during the intro of the film, where she kills a woman trying to back out of one of her revenge deals. Apparently she conducts all of her business in her garage, which is covered by a giant curtain.
No! No! Why? No!
Pretty intense. Oh, and there's also a weird guy with green stripes in his hair. He knows all about the Necromancer and figures more prominently in the film later on. So Julie makes a deal to get revenge on her attackers, and the Necromancer does just that. She initially appears in Julie's form with glowing green eyes to seduce the creeps. And then she turns into a pretty cool looking monster that is ruined by some really poorly overlaid green eyes. The eyes jiggle around and yeah, it looks pretty bad. So the Necromancer kills everyone that Julie channels her rage on, and she eventually has a showdown with the evil demon. According to the special features, Necromancer was made on an extremely low budget, and it really shows. Every death is off-screen or shown in slow motion, which is fine, but I really think this movie needed some over-the-top gore to help keep things going. Some cool John Carl Buechler style gore effects would have livened things up a bit. Apparently, original director Bill Nod, who was also the writer on this, was removed from the film and replaced. There were some reshoots and rewrites, and it really does show in the sometimes choppy and awkward final product. But Elizabeth Caton as our heroine and Lee Cole as the coke-snorting rapist both give great performances, and there's a lot of that cheesy 80s charm throughout the film as well. But I just didn't have as much fun with this movie as I was expecting. Well, as much fun as a rape revenge movie can be anyway. Like I said, some juicy gore scenes and better effects on the monster would have vastly improved things. But even still, I do think it's worth watching. It's just not quite as good as it could have been. As usual, Vinegar Syndrome gives us excellent picture quality and some nice supplements. There are 3 interviews included. One with actor Lee Cole, which runs 15 minutes, Wade Riddle, which runs 12 minutes, and director Dusty Nelson, which runs almost an hour. The interviews are in-depth and give a lot of great information on the making of this troubled film. I also have to mention the nice packaging. This release is limited to just 4,000 units, and the thick cardboard case is modeled after a VHS case, which is really cool. We've also got reversible cover art as well. In the end, I thought Necromancer was a decent but flawed movie. It's got some good performances and some nice 80s cheese, and I do think it's worth owning for collectors of 80s horror films like myself. Just don't go in expecting a lost 80s classic or anything, and you'll probably get some enjoyment out of this one.